5 things I've learned after interviewing 20 leaders as a teenager. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Malina, and this is the Young Leaders Podcast. I've spent the last 10 months interviewing leaders like Manjeet Manhas, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and the songwriter for Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys. And every single conversation taught me something I'd never learn at school. So today I want to share the top 5 things that I believe are absolutely essential for all teenagers to know, and make sure to stay till the end because you don't want to miss the last one. Lesson number 1, your age doesn't matter. One of the biggest myths out there is that you need to be wiser or older to get something done. But during your teenage years, your brain is actually like a sponge. You will learn and absorb things much faster than any adult. So instead of waiting for the day that you're ready, the best time for you to try, fail, and figure things out is actually during your teenage years. The people who start young are the ones who end up ahead later. Lesson number 2, failure is not the end of the world. Unless somehow you accidentally found a way to disconnect all electricity from the whole globe, then I'd understand, but that's not happening anytime soon. Every single leader that I've spoken to has failed, whether big when it comes to losing lots of money or having to restart your business again, or small things like working on the wrong projects or making bad decisions. But none of them gave up. Instead, they all said the same thing, that failure has been their stepping stone to get to the next level. One thing that we say in my house is that fail stands for first attempt in learning. We try to take it in a positive way to show us that it's just a stepping stone to get to the next level. But failure only works if you try something different each time. If you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, but you're basically running on a hamster wheel. Lots of effort, but no results. But leaders don't just fail and blindly try again. They fail, tweak, and pivot until something finally works. Lesson 3, networking is not weird, it's actually your superpower. Networking is not about shaking hands with random people and making awkward eye contact the whole time. It's actually about building relationships with people who will open doors for you in the future. And some people might be saying, well, isn't that kind of like using them? And no, that does not mean that you're using them. You obviously cannot go messaging them every day for asking for something, but what you can do is check in on them, make sure to support them, and be there when they need you. The way to create a genuine relationship is to make sure you take care of them so that they can take care of you, and you give each other opportunities to grow. Lesson 4, being teachable. One thing that all of my guests have in common is that they're teachable. Now, what exactly does that mean? That means that they're willing to make mistakes and learn from another mentor or leader who will criticize them and help them get better. One of my previous guests, Jason Bloom, who's a songwriter for Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, had to rewrite his song 7 times before they accepted his lyrics. On top of that, he had waited 11 years for this moment. Imagine having to rewrite your essay 7 times because your teacher didn't like it and thought it wasn't good enough. It would be frustrating, and most people would quit after the first 2 times, but Jason didn't. He kept on going, taking the criticism and making changes until it was ready. But remember, being teachable does not mean you should be taking advice from everyone. Not all advice is the right advice. If you had a friend who's failing in math class is trying to explain to you how to get ready for your next math quiz, you probably wouldn't listen to them. So you have to filter out who you're listening to and who you're going to leave out. Now we're about to get into the last lesson, which I believe is absolutely the most important. But if you want to keep on learning things that they don't teach you at school, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Now the most important lesson that I've learned is the power of believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing will ever work. Every single CEO, entrepreneur, artist that I've spoken to, all had gone through moments where they didn't have anyone rooting for them or believing in them. Either their families doubted them, they had investors shut doors in their face, or their teacher said that they couldn't do it. But they all had one thing in common that made them win. They believed in themselves. And look, I'm 15. People could say that I'm too young to start a podcast, or I'm too young to be interviewing leaders across the world, or even be sharing lessons like this. But if I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't be at this part of my journey that I am today. And that is the power of believing in yourself. This is why I started the Young Leaders Podcast, to share the lessons that school doesn't teach. So don't just listen, make sure you apply this in your life. Start with something small today and keep building on that to get to the goal and the dream that you want. Because leaders aren't born, they're built. And if I can start at 15, so can you.